A few weeks ago, I was asked by a school where I'm currently applying for a scholarship to write an essay, and one of the questions that they required me to answer got me thinking a lot. It was actually a very simple question, and the question was, what trends are currently impacting the most today's business world? And I had to write my opinion about it. I thought a lot about the answer, and as I scrolled through different ideas, I came across tendencies like business technology, I came across finance theories, I came across economics, I came across the ideas behind startup companies, and nothing really stuck in my mind until I thought of something really basic: creativity. Now, let me explain what I mean by creativity. I'm not saying that creativity is something new or something that we just started using in business world. But what I'm saying is that creativity is something that we use a lot, but we are not really nurturing. All I'm saying is that we live in a world that is not really focusing its efforts on developing creativity. We in fact live in a world that scientists and sociologists call the 100 years most influential of the past 2,000 years. We cannot ignore that in the past 2,000 years there's an event that occurred that unarguably is the most important event. It even changed the way we count our days in the calendar, and that was the birth of Jesus Christ. But these scientists and these sociologists, they say that the past 100 years have shaped and influenced the world more than any other time period. And this is all because of the growth and the fast-paced development of communications and the growing demand of industry. Now, where does creativity fit in all of this conundrum? Creativity, in my opinion, is as important as literature, math, science, biology, and any other subject we can learn in school. Modern educational systems pretend to prepare people for a working period of around 30 to 35 years. But the problem is that we don't even know what's gonna come in 5 years from now. So people hopefully would be able to retire after 30 years of work. Some of us, we hope to retire when we reach 30 years of age, and some will do it. But the majority of people will work for a long period of time until they can retire and go back home and rest. Now, all of these people, when they go to the working part of their life, what they learned in school is not what will shape and what will define what they will be doing. Most of that will be defined, but the creative parts and the creative aspects and solutions they find to the everyday problems. Studies say that in the next 30 years, starting, if we said from this day, the next 30 years, more people will graduate from school in any kind of degree, undergraduate degree, graduate degree, doctoral degree, than any other amount of people that have graduated in the past since the time we have any records available. Education is not the problem. Where the education is focused could be a problem. Current education is focused on the right side of the brain, as some scientists call it. The analytical, the numerical, the logical side of our intelligence. The left side of the brain remains in certain ways undeveloped. And this side belongs to the creative parts, the musical parts, the art. We see how schools do not spend the same time and the same amount of class periods teaching music, teaching drawing, making kids go into painting classes, as much as kids receive math, science, biology, history. And there's not anything wrong with that. But we slowly leave our left sides of the brain undeveloped and focus on the right side of the brains. No wonder why today's musical hits come from people like Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne. The current systems of education train people to be intelligent, to perform given tasks the best way they can produce, and to produce as much as possible. The education system basically crucifies errors or mistakes. Educational systems today train people to do their best in a given task and to not make mistakes. Mistakes are greatly sanctioned. So people leave very little room for creative responses and creative answers to today's problems. Human beings, according to science, are naturally born unafraid. We can see how a baby is born and he instinctively and creatively finds ways to discover the world around him. As a baby grows up and develops into a kid is always attracted by the new around him. Parents, teachers, adults around him warn him of the dangers and the things that might bring problems to him. But anyway, a kid grows up hearing, seeing all of these problems and all of these dangers, and all of these situations cage his creative mind from developing. People who are afraid and people who do not see the opportunities in making mistakes will never be able to do something original. A kid who grows up in this educational system and develops in a fear of not being able to make mistakes will simply grow more and more fond of the idea of learning the logical, the analytical, the numerical, instead of looking for other ways. People who look for new ways are often called misfits. We see how many of those people, of those misfits, are the people who have changed our world. But anyways, we remain cautious and we remain afraid of becoming one of them and of finding creative ways in our everyday lives. We need to be careful of using the creative gift that we received. We need to be careful of what we do with the knowledge that our mind has provided us. We need to be careful on the way that we use all of this, because we need to make a positive and a beneficial impact in our world, in our generation, in our time, and also in those generations to come. It's our duty and our responsibility to build and to add, and to not just follow prey of the system that is continually evolving. As I said before, there is nothing wrong with education. Education forms people. Education makes people grow closer and prepares people. But we cannot forget of what our instinct and our nature and our creative aspects sometimes throw us into doing and saying. We are responsible for what we create and what we leave for the generations to come. Thank you.